Today is Tuesday, November 10th, 2020, and today I'm thinking about a few important messages from the Bible. And what these are for is to reinforce what I do on this channel, which is a lot of looking for symbolism and what people call conspiracy theory. But also, this is just something that you can bring up the next time that people are naysaying you, people who pretend to be Christian, because there's a lot of people out there that they'll even claim to be Christian, but they try to shoot down whenever you try to talk about this type of truth. And the thing is that it's biblical. So let's get into it. John chapter 2, verses 19 through 21. The message here is symbolism is very important. Jesus answered and said unto them, Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. Then said the Jews, 46 years was this temple in building, and wilt thou rear it up in 3 days? But he spake of the temple of his body. So here is one among many instances of Jesus Christ speaking in symbols. And we know that Jesus spoke in parables a lot. So here you go. Symbolism is very important. And what school tries to make you think that symbolism is just something that people do in like literature, novels. But really it's all around you, especially in the media, full of symbolism. But it's also just everyday people. Hand signs, mudras. It's a big club, and a lot of people know about this Orange 33 stuff. I mean, just think about how there's a whole second layer to the TV. The TV really has more appeal to the awake because they're like looking for the little signs and the symbols and the double meanings and such. It becomes really clear that media is made for people who know the secret a lot of times. Especially shows like Arrested Development and stuff are just over the top with the hidden symbolism. There's this song that I think of a lot by Ace of Base. When I was growing up, it was really big. I saw the sign and it opened up my eyes. So you're just surrounded by people that speak in signs and symbols, and it's biblical. So these Satanists that are in control, they know the Bible forward and backward, and they take things that are biblical and they corrupt it. So that's one of the things, the symbolism. So a second one is very connected with this. Numbers not only are signs and symbols, hand signs, covering your eye, just the one eye thing in general, things like colors, orange. The Bible, there's a lot of colors that are important, like scarlet, for instance. So they just adopt it and make their own. So same thing with numbers. When people come out of the woodwork and try to tell you that you're crazy for being obsessed with numbers, well, the Bible, numbers are very important. In fact, there's a whole book of the Bible called Numbers. And so my instances that I chose, there's many, many, many more instances. For instance, so in the book of Revelation, the beast has a number, 666. What is it? 603 score and 6. So if numbers aren't important, why does the beast in the book of Revelation come attached with a number, 666? And then why do Satanists choose to embrace that and really, they really do love their number symbolism. And of course the 33 stuff. So here's just an instance from the Bible. Genesis chapter 2, 7 is really important. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it. And one of the first things I realized when I started reading the Bible and I was reading some of the Old Testament stuff, it's really obvious. It's really obvious that the number 7 holds special meaning to it and that it gets used symbolically. You can tell that sometimes people don't literally mean 7. They're using 7 in a symbolic way to mean big. And one instance of that is when somebody asked Jesus how often they should forgive their brother. And Jesus says 70 times 7. And so that's symbolic. There's a reason why Jesus chose 7 2 times. And it's because 7 has this understood notion of power, and 70 times 7, I don't think that Jesus literally meant whatever that computation ends up being, 490 or whatever. I think that he was just saying a ton of times, and that's it. He was speaking symbolically, I believe. Here's another instance of numbers in the Bible. The beginning, this is the very first chapter of the New Testament, Matthew chapter 1. It starts with all the begats. And we get to this, Matthew chapter 1, verse 17. So all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations, and from David until the carrying away into Babylon are 14 generations, and from the carrying away into Babylon unto Christ are 14 generations. And so it's interesting, it gets split into a perfect 3. Kind of interesting. Of 14, and 14 is a double 7. 14 is a number you see used a lot. So who knows? In the media, if you see a bunch of repeating 14s, maybe they're making some sort of reference to this. 14, 14, 14. I just saw earlier today 14 appearing a few times, and who knows their intentions. But the people in control, they really do speak with symbolism, and specifically number symbolism. The Bible is full of numerical symbolism. And just a few more messages from the Bible that are very important. Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. This is a Bible verse that you can bring up when a Christian tries to tell you that you're crazy for all these conspiracy theories. Look, and I mean also the verse about Satan being the prince of this earth. Satan is the prince of this earth, and that's why the people in control are deceivers. Satan is a liar, a deceiver. Satan deceives the whole world. So that right there should prove to you a grand conspiracy. Some people believe everything they see on TV. People, it's called television. Who knows if that's really a Tracy Morgan quote? I thought this was a really, I don't know, powerful quote. Lying to ourselves is more deeply ingrained than lying to others. A lot of this stuff, they get us to suspend our disbelief and to go along with the satanic flow because they have the numbers. It's a big club, and they're a bunch of street theater performers, and they will shun you if you speak the truth and you stand up for the truth. So they get us to lie to ourselves. I remember knowing that things didn't make sense, but I just went along with it anyways, and it's to fit in. But I think this might be my last message for today. One of the most important messages. You shouldn't expect to fit in here. You shouldn't want to go along with the flow here. It's a broad way to destruction, and that's why it's called Broadway. Bringing it back to the symbolism thing. The reason it's called Broadway is because in the Bible, Jesus talks about the broad way to destruction, and it's a straight and narrow path to salvation, and few there be that find it. So unfortunately, that's just the way it is, and you should be glad when you're rejected by this world, because that means you're not from here, and you just need to follow Jesus and get out of here. John chapter 15, verse 19. If you are of the world would love his own, but because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Matthew chapter 24, verses 29 and 30. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Praise Jesus Christ. Praise God. Can't wait for that day. God bless everyone.